Richarlison goes from joke to decisive and becomes fundamental at Tottenham. With 7 goals in the last 7 Premier League games, the Brazilian striker has been decisive in favour of Spurs. Richarlison, striker for Tottenham and the Brazilian national team, revealed in an interview in September 2023 that he was experiencing personal problems and this was hindering his performance, both for Spurs and for Brazil. 5 months after that statement, the player changed his stance on the field and has raised his performance level. Pombo scored no less than 7 goals in the last 7 games they played in the Premier League. It is said that, after the storm there is always a rainbow, and Richarlison's current look in the Tottenham shirt justifies such a popular phrase. Spurs fans cheered once again with the Brazilian, who scored the team's 3rd goal against Brentford, this Wednesday, 31, in the London team's 3-2 victory in the 22nd round of the Premier League. And the English critics as a whole, it has surrendered to the talent of the attacker, who round after round has become increasingly decisive. Postecoglou's work was important in reviving Richarlison's career. Behind someone's individual performance, be it a football player or any other high-performance athlete, goes through the work of their coach. Even in our lives, when we have a good manager in our path, we become better professionals, right? Well, we have to put on the agenda here the work of Ange Postecoglou at the helm of Tottenham, who enhanced Richarlison's football and made him become a reference in English football once again. On September 15, shortly after Richarlison's statement about his mental state, the Australian coach gave an enlightening press conference talking about society's view of the football player and also the importance of mental care for athletes. Triver recently published a report on the scenario of psychology professionals within clubs in the main division of Brazilian football. At the time, Postecoglou revealed that he lost his father, who did not have the chance to see him coaching one of the biggest teams in England. The Australian coach drew attention to the fact that for the money they earn, players feel immune to the psychological problems they face, which, in fact, is a dangerous trap, considering that a full bank account will not always solve them all, the problems they face. I lost my father 3 days ago and he was supposed to be here, following my journey, so I had to deal with that. This is my personal experience, but everyone in this room at this moment may have a part in their life where everything is fine, but there will always be something. Sometimes they, players, fall into the trap of thinking they are immune, but they are not. Just because you have money or are really good at something, life will still find a way to maintain balance, so there will be stressful and upsetting things, and you need to deal with that, Postecoglou said. One day after Postecoglou's speech, Richarlison entered the field in the final minutes of the game against Sheffield. Spurs were losing 1-0, but managed to turn things around with a goal and an assist from the Brazilian. That moment marked a turning point in this complicated process in the attacker's life. Working on mental health takes time, and Pombo found a manager in the London team who understood his problem, was always open to dialogue, understanding how the athlete's personal life can interfere with his performance on the field. Richarlison's recovery process took time. After being decisive against Sheffield, Richarlison spent 10 blank games in the Premier League, was heavily criticised, but remained firm, resilient, working on his mentality off the field, with the help of Postecoglou. On December 10, the turning point that would change the trajectory of the attacker's current moment. Against Newcastle, Richarlison scored 2 goals in Spurs' 4-2 victory and began the successful trajectory that has plagued the player in the last 7 Premier League games. In addition to the Magpies, Richarlison scored against Nottingham Forest, Everton, Bournemouth, Manchester United and, now, Brentford. Postecoglou's impact was so strong on Richarlison's performance that before the Australian's arrival, the Brazilian had found the net just once in 27 games under the command of Antonio Conte and Ryan Mason. With Postecoglou, he scored 8 goals in 19 games, an average of 1 every 2 games. Richarlison's moment is totally different from 5-6 months ago. The striker once again became a decisive player, a killer up front, so Tottenham and especially the Brazilian team are grateful. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications and don't miss the next videos.